Hey, if you are a white parent raising a black child, either whether through adoption, fostering, or blended families, this teaching is for you. It is titled Raising a Black Child as a White Parent, What You Need to Know. So let's just jump into it, okay? You have to realize when you're raising a black child, regardless, is that your love alone is just not enough. I know for a lot of you all, especially because I've talked to some white folks who raising black children, and a lot of you all, especially if you're evangelical Christians, you get offended when I tell you love is not enough. You're like, no, all they need is love, love. No, that is your whiteness talking. That is your ignorance to this black world. You are raising a black child, and you're raising them to prepare for a world you're not used to. You have to understand that. You are coming in with a deficit. It's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to have to equip yourself. You are a white person who lived in a white catered, white centered world, and you're raising this black child. Therefore, you cannot know physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, psychologically what this child is going to go through. So I don't care how much amount of love and hugs and kisses and scripture you throw at them. When society, white racist society comes at them, you're going to have to equip them with something that you know nothing about firsthand, okay? So you love your child, but navigating racial identity, cultural differences, and systemic challenges can feel overwhelming. And that's why I created this series. I want to welcome you first to raising a child as a white parent, what you need to know. I'm Angela Ayers. I've been an educator. I've worked in the political field, the educational field, and I just have a love and a desire for Black people, but people in general, but particularly Black people, and equipping everybody to know how to love, raise, and advocate for Black children. So, why this series matters. Let's get something out of the way right now, okay? I'm not here to shame you. If you're watching this, it means you care, and that's a great start. But let's be real. Black children raised by white parents often grow up struggling with their identity. Many who I have talked to firsthand, who I have um, schooled as a principal, have really grown up almost like they're never white enough to be with the white kids, never black enough to be with the black kids. And so it's also a disservice that many white parents have done sheltering them from the real world. So they may not know how to do their own hair. I ran across so many times. I can't tell you how frustrating it is, white mothers, when you have adopted these black girls and you got them walking around with their hair all nappy on their head. Take that girl. Let me slow down. I'll get to that section. I'm about to go in, y'all. All right. They may not know how to do their own hair. They may not have access to black mentors, and they may not be prepared for the racial realities of the world. And that's not their fault. And honestly, it's really not some of your faults either if you commit to learning and doing better. So, in this series, we're going to cover six categories: understanding Black identity and culture. Number two, hair and skin care 101 for Black kids. Three, preparing your Black child for racism. Four, creating a culturally affirming environment. Five, education and school advocacy. Six, the talk about police and authority. And seven, love and affirmations. So let's just jump into it. How to build your child's identity. The first thing you all have to do, white folk, you're going to have to teach them about Black history. You don't know who you are if you don't understand who you come from. And I know many white folk, it gets uncomfortable, especially when you start talking about American history, true American history, and the atrocities of American chattel slavery. It's uncomfortable. But again, unless you yourself, white person, has a slave in your backyard, you shouldn't be walking around with no guilt. If you have some type of tinge of guilt just or feel some type of way by me just even talking about it right now, that tells me you have not done the work to do some soul searching within yourself to make sure you don't have no type of hidden racism, prejudice, or white supremacy hidden dormant in your heart. You just have to research it, do the work. So, if you only if the only Black history your child learns is on during Black History Month, that's a problem. And most schools they only teach some watered down version. All they talk about is Dr. King and Rosa Parks. You're going to have to introduce your child to Black inventors, scientists, artists, and leaders. Teach them about the rich civilizations of Africa before colonization. Show them how black culture has influenced everything from music to fashion to politics. Let them see themselves in history, y'all. So what action steps can you do? You're going to start buying age appropriate books about black history and culture. You're going to have to start watching documentaries together, like High on the Hog or Hidden Figures or things such as that. And you're also going to have to visit black cultural museums and historic sites. You're going to have to do the work. You have taken this responsibility to be a parent to a black child. You're going to have to do the work. It's more than just saying, see, some people, I think they think that adopting these black kids is like buying a purse. It's an accessory. No, that little black child ain't no accessory. God has entrusted that child to you. So therefore, you're going to have to answer to God how you raise that child. And you can't raise them whitewashed. Second, make sure they see black representation everywhere. Look around your home, white folk. Are there any books on your child's shelf that feature black characters? Do the TV shows they watch include black leads? Do you have black dolls, action figures, and black art in their space? Representation matters. If your child only sees white faces in the media that they consume, they will absorb the idea that whiteness is the default and that blackness is other. You're doing a disservice. I'm telling you what's going to happen. Your black child, when they go off to college and they get awakened and they get around their other black peers, they're going to resent you, white mama, white daddy, because you didn't equip them, because all you thought they needed was the love of Jesus. Okay. What are your action steps? You're going to have to introduce diverse books to your children, like Hair Love for younger kids or The Hate You Give for teens. Or you're going to have to seek out black led cartoons that have leads in it, movies, and YouTube channels. If your child has black dolls or toys, make sure they're not just side characters. Next, connect them with black community and mentors. I need to be real with you, okay? If your child is only surrounded by white people, that's a problem. And I don't give a damn what you say. I watch I sit on TikTok and I look at some of these white families who adopt these black children, and all I see is the white family members, white church members, white, 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 white. That's a problem. Hell, it's a problem if you are a white person, all you got is white people you hanging around. That's a problem. Those black children need to be in spaces where they aren't the only black. They need to see and interact with successful black adults who can model confidence and identity for them. If your current friend circle, school, or church is all white, you better make an effort to diversify their worlds because them kids are going to need that. This is not about tokenism. It's about making sure your child has spaces where they feel seen and understood without having to explain their blackness. Hell, do your children even know they're black? Find black led curriculums, extracurriculum activities like sports, dance, STEM, whatever. Um, uh, um, what do they call it? Jack and Jill. Also, choose a diverse church or community. Y'all just sitting up down in these all white churches. That's not healthy anyway. For you, the parent. Also, if possible, get a black mentor, someone your child can look up to. Next, I need you to talk openly about race. Do not avoid talking about race. Some white parents think they're doing their child a favor by raising them to be colorblind. That's a lie. Stop saying you're colorblind, white folk. Unless you're a dog who were known to be colorblind, you ain't freaking colorblind. That actually does more of harm to your child. Your child already knows they're black and the world sees them as black. So instead of avoiding it, celebrate it. Let them know that their blackness is beautiful, powerful, part of who they are. And be honest with them about racism. You don't have to traumatize your child, but you do need to prepare them for what they will face in this world. So, what's your call to action? Have age appropriate conversations about race and identity. Encourage them to ask questions about their blackness. Let them express their identity however they choose. If they want to wear dreads, braids, locks, whatever. So, my call to action to you is your job as a parent is to nurture every part of your child, including their black identity. It won't always be easy, and it might push you outside of your own comfort zone, but the effort you put in now will shape your child's confidence for the rest of their life. So listen, if you like this, continue to like, share, and subscribe. My next part two is going to be on how do you take care of your black child's hair and skin. This part I'm passionate about all of it, but I'm very passionate about black little girls who are raised by white mamas and having them little black girls walking around with their hair nappy on their head. Okay? You took the responsibility to be a parent to a black child. You're going to have to educate yourself, and I'm here to help you. All right, talk to you soon.